they have a lot of queries. That's why I'm starting bit lately. Monday onwards back to normal. Like I'll start the session by 9:10, 9:15 like that. Okay, na? Don't worry. Let me open the document, guys. Yeah, here, where is this? Class content, Spring. Class content, Spring. Tell me now. Class content, Spring. Where is this? 915. Tell me here. Cloud MS. Spring Boot Cloud MS. Followed by that, what is there? Cloud MS. Microservice intra-communication using Fin client. We already discussed about all this stuff. We have developed one example application also. Okay. Now, those are having pen and paper. Those are, if you have, open it. Otherwise, don't worry. If you have, use them. I'll give one scenario and I want you people to develop what? I want you people to develop Fin interface for that. Whatever? Fin interface for that. Okay. This is the provider MS I got. This is the provider MS I got. And I want you to develop what, guys? Pin interface for that. Shall we see that, guys? Everyone? Okay. Those are having pen and paper, write it. Online students, you please open Paint. You please open Paint. Develop the Fin interface for that provider MS and paste in the chat box. And simply paste in the chat box. This is my microservice. This is my microservice. For this, I want you people to develop Fin interface to invoke the endpoint. To invoke the endpoint. I hope you got it. What I'm asking? For practice purpose, nothing else. Practice purpose only, all this stuff. Names your choice. Method name, class name, interface name, your choice. Online students, you also please start doing it. Okay, in the chat box, you cannot type continuously, fastly. That's why look for alternate. That's why always look for alternate, right? Don't write directly in the chat box, because when you press enter key, it will deliver to me. In the chat box, if you want to write, you have to use shift enter. Then new line will come. Only enter, it will deliver to me. Yeah, the people who don't have pen and notebook, offline student, at least try to visualize in the brain. Okay. Try to visualize in the brain. Because this is the most regularly used concept in real time. Fin interface, Fin client. Dana, not Dana. Online students, are you there? Arey, Dana? Okay. Kishore. Fin client, wrong ra. Fin client, service, vendor slash all, list product. Yes, you are right. Kishore, you are right. Good. Okay, I will develop in front of you. Check it out. Public interface. Tell me. I vendor. Public interface. I vendor. Service operations. Public interface. I vendor. Service operations. Okay, guys. Tell me here. Where is this? At the rate fin client. Okay, where is this? Slash vendor service. At the rate fin client slash vendor service. Are you getting my point there or not? Acha, 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 when slash is not there. Vendor S capital service. Service ID I have to pass. Next, public response entity. What is there? List product. Okay. Show all products. Show all products. Everyone getting my point? Yeah. Tell me next one. At the rate request mapping. At the rate request mapping. Slash vendor slash all. Slash vendor slash r. You don't want to write like this. Request mapping, get mapping. I think it's better to use get map. Okay, taking response entity in return type is not mandatory, guys. You can directly take a list also. You can directly take a list here or not there, guys. End of the interface. Anything great over here, guys? Come on, everyone. Public response entity list product to show all products. Okay. Public list product to show all product. If context path is there, you have to give context path. If context path is not there, giving context path is optional. Easy, guys? Really difficult? No. Okay, try for this. Try for this. Okay, one microservice having two endpoint methods. Not one endpoint, guys, two endpoint. At a time, we have to deal with what? Two endpoints. At a time, it has to deal with what? Two endpoints. Are you getting my point there or not there, guys? Done? Online? No one presented in online, huh? Still typing? Okay. I will prepare and you check whether it is right or wrong, right? It's a better idea. Okay, I'm removing it, guys. Okay, first public interface. Tell me. iPayment service. iPayment service client component. iPayment service client component, right? Public interface iPayment service client component. Yeah, here what is there? At the rate fin client. What kind, guys? At the rate fin client. What is there? Payment service. Fin client payment service. Tell me. Here is what? Public string. Tell me. Save card. If not save card, something. Otherwise, I'll say invoke save card. That's better, na? Confusion will not be there. Yeah, invoke save card. While calling this method, request body is not required. Just I can take card details only, na? Think about consumer point of view. Is there any need of converting JSON into that? No. Directly object only we want to pass, right? Directly object only we have to pass now, boss. What is there? Card details. Card details. Okay, that's the one thing. Here, where is this? At the rate post mapping slash payment global path slash say. Okay, guys. Tell me next one. Public string. What is there? Remove card. What is there? Public string remove card. Integer card number. What number? Integer card number. Here is my what, guys? Delete mapping. What mapping? Delete mapping. Here is what is that, guys? Delete mapping slash payment. Where is this? Slash delete. What is there? Card name. Are you understanding my statement, guys, or not there? Okay. Post mapping invoke save card. Here, what is the another method I want to take? Invoke remove card, guys. Invoke remove card. Are we ready? Like this, we can keep the things nicely, na, boss? Okay. What is a Spring Web Client? Don't keep the surprising face. We already discussed. In reactive programming of WebFlex module, we discussed this one or not there. If you are using Spring WebFlex module, support reactive programming. Reactive programming means not blocking one thread for one request. Keeping non-blocking programming. Remember, to develop the consumer MS or client application in RESTful environment, then we need to use this web client instead of what? REST temp. We need to use this web client instead of what? REST template. Everyone getting my point there or not there? What is the difference between normal Java class and inventory proxy class? Normal Java class and what, guys? Inventory proxy, in-memory proxy class. Already we discussed. .java file, .class file allocates memory in hard disk. Only execution happens in what, guys? JVM memory. That's a normal class. But when it comes to proxy class, first application runs that generates the source code of the class in JVM memory, that is compiled in JVM memory, loaded and executed in JVM memory. So class generation, compilation, execution, everything is happening in JVM memory or not there. That means that class don't have .java file allocating in hard disk, .class file allocating in hard disk. Only what is there? JVM based things are there. Are you understanding my statement or not there? Super. While working with the fin client client component based MS intra communication, why we need to place uh, @enable discovery client, @enable fin clients on the top of the main class. On the top of the main class. Are you getting my point there? Basically, our consumer MS is client to Eureka server and must be registered with what? Eureka server. For this, we need to place what? @enable discovery client annotation to make the Spring Cloud module searching for what? Okay. Fin client interfaces for generating dynamic in-memory proxy classes. We need to place @enable fin clients are not there. Or any enable annotation, one thing you remember. By seeing that annotation, it will search for respect to things. It observe @enable fin clients is there. Oh, then it becomes ready. Oh, here fin client is used. I have to search for fin client interfaces. Once it notices fin client interfaces are there, developing in-memory proxy classes, implementing methods, internally having load balancer client logic is taken care by whom, guys? IOC container towards generating in-memory proxy class are not there. Not only this, I think other time also enable scheduling. Then only it looks for scheduled methods. Come on. Enable transaction management. Then only it will looks for what? @transactional annotation. Any enable triplex annotation kept on the main class. Okay, makes Spring Boot framework looking for respective configuration to perform respective activities. Respective configuration to perform what? Respective activities. Is that clear, my dear? Come on. Any @enable triple X annotation. Any @enable triple X annotation. Are you getting my point there or not there? Any @enable triple X annotation. @enable triple X annotation. Any @enable kept on the main class. Kept on the main class. Makes the what, guys? Makes the IOC container looking for relevant IOC container activating relevant configurations. Relevant. What's the spell, guys? Relevant. Right now? Why it is not coming then? Relevant. Okay. Relevant configurations. Okay. By searching for them. Okay. Example 1. @enable scheduling. makes the IOC container to search for at the rate scheduled methods. Yes, my dear. Next, example 2. At the rate, tell me. Enable transaction management. Makes the IOC container to search for, what is there? To search for, where is this? At the rate transactional annotation. At the rate transactional methods. Next, where is this? Example 3. At the rate, ayo. No, actually, I have missed the actual point. What is there? Yeah, example 3. At the rate enable fin clients. At the rate enable fin client makes the, what guys? Makes the IOC container to search for, what guys? To search for, come on. To search for, at the rate FEIGN, fin client interface. To search for at the rate fin client interface. Clear, my dear? Got the point, my dear? Come on, everyone. Everyone understanding my statement or not there? Okay, that's good. So this is about the whole system, guys. What's the session number? Session number 8. Yeah, config server. But before going to config server, some more discussions are there on fin client only. In microservice intra-communication, we need client type components to find the service instance details of target MS and to perform what? HTTP calls based communication with the target MS, producer MS from consumer MS. Client type components are what, guys? Client type components are discovery client, load balancer client, fin client. What kinds, guys? Discovery client, load balancer client, and vastly what? Fin client, guys. If we have one producer, one consumer type of microservices using fin client, then we need to take what? One fin interface at consumer MS side. If the consumer MS is consuming multiple producer MS services, then we need to take what? Multiple fin interfaces. What, guys? Multiple fin interfaces. Are you getting my point there or not there? Okay, very simple. Fin interfaces count is equal to number of produced MS services consumed by consumer MS. For example, my consumer MS is trying to consume services of 3 producer MS. Total, how many fin interfaces I have to take? 3. How many methods in each fin interface? How many endpoints you want to invoke from each target MS? Those many methods you have to declare in fin interface are not there. My consumer MS wants to consume services of 3 microservices. Let us assume. From my first service, 2 methods, 2 endpoints it want to invoke. Second one, 4 method. Third one, 6 methods. Okay. In first interface of consumer MS, fin interface of consumer, 2 method declaration. Second one, 4 method declaration. Third one, 6 method declaration. Is required or not required, guys? For example, if MS1 is consuming MS2 and MS3, MS means what? MS Dhoni, right? Microservice. Microservice. Then MS1 consumer MS should have two fin client interfaces as shown below. Producer MS, producer MS, MS2, MS3. Here is what? MS1. Total, how many fin interfaces I have to develop, guys? Two fin interfaces. One for MS2 service, one for MS3 service. One for MS2 service, one for what? MS3 service. Are you getting my point there or not there? One for MS2 service, one for what? MS3 service. In this consumer MS, we need to place what? Two fin client annotation on two different fin interfaces having what? Two different service ID of two different producer MS. But we need to place enable fin clients only for one time on the main class. Array, both are part of same project now. One project will have only one main method. So how many times I have to place enable fin client, guys? Only for one time I have to place it or not there? Only for one time I have to place it or not there? That's good, great. Order MS, accounts MS, right? And here is what? Report generation MS. Okay, total how many fin interfaces I have to take? Two fin interface. Oh, contains one fin interface for what? Order MS. Contains one fin interface for what? Accounts MS. Everyone getting my point there or not there, guys? Okay, that's good, great. Tell me next one. What is the story? If one producer MS service are used by what? Multiple consumer MS, then they may need to place same fin client interface for what? Multiple consumer MS. Okay. Multiple consumer MS. Are you getting my point there or not there, guys? Yeah, let's see. One MS is used by MS1, MS2. It is MS3. Okay, tell me this time, how many fin clients I have to develop in MS1 and MS2? One fin client interface, na boss. Both are invoking same thing, na. Here one fin client interface, here one fin client interface. Both can be same or not there. Both may be same interfaces or not there, guys. Yeah. Inventory MS, producer MS, order MS, report MS, right? Contains one fin interface of inventory MS, contains one fin interface of what? Inventory MS. Both can be same or not there. Say something, my dear. The both can be same or not, my dear. Definitely both can be same or not, guys. Okay. So very simple, Babu. Number of in interfaces equal to number of target MS that you want to invoke from consumer MS. That's a 1 point. Okay. Number of methods in each fin interface is equal to number of methods in each fin interface equal to, come on guys, tell me, number of methods in each fin interface equal to number of endpoints that you want to invoke, number of endpoints that you want to invoke from a target MS. From a target MS. I hope you got it, guys. Super. Here I prepared summary kind of thing, guys. Summary on what? All the 3 client component. Best is Fin client, guys, no doubt in that. But I prepared small summary. Let's see. Client component that are required in what? Required in MS intra communication. What communication? MS intra communication. That are required in what? MS intra communication. Client type component. What is there? Discovery client. What client, guys? Client type component, discovery client. Yeah. Support for load balancing. Yes or no? Na? Support for load balancing is yes or no, na, boss? No. Required annotation. At the rate enable discovery client or not? What is the required annotation, guys? At the rate enable discovery client. That is the required annotation. Is it abstract client or concrete client? Is it abstract client or concrete client, guys? Yeah, definitely it is what? Okay, concrete client. We have to develop everything, my dear. Is it concrete client? Is it industry standard? No. Required dependency. Eureka discovery client starter is enough or not there? Operations. Call get instances method to get service instance and to use what? REST template to make HTTP calls. And use REST template. That means you have to do everything manually, right? Get instance method to get the required object. Service instance. And you have to use test template manually to invoke the services are not there. Next one is what? Load balancer client. What is there? LBC. Support for load balancing. Next, required annotation. At the rate enable discovery client. Is it abstract client or concrete client? Is it industry standard or not, guys? Okay. Eureka discovery client starter is there or not there? I want reply, my dear. Come on, everyone. Okay. Next one. Same as above, but we have to use a choose method to pick up the right instance or not there. Less load factor instance, guys. Here load balancing is there or not there, guys? Okay, support for load balancing is there. Fin client best. Supports for load balancing? Yes. What are the required annotation? Discovery client. Why discovery client? You are not adding discovery client for the Fin client. We are adding discovery client for the sake of making registering microservice with Eureka server. For registering microservice with what? Eureka server. Yeah, tell me next one. At the rate enable Fin clients. Okay, next one. At the rate Fin client. So these are the annotations that we have to use it or not there. Super. What is next one? Is it abstract client or concrete client? Super. Is it industry standard or not? Okay, what is the required dependency, guys? OpenFin starter plus Eureka discovery client is required or not required? Yeah, the in-memory proxy class for Fin client interface will take care of what? Getting service instance and making HTTP calls are not there. For getting service instance and also making what? HTTP calls. Are you getting my point here, guys? Convinced with me or not there, guys? Super, boss. Okay, what is the next one to focus? Why we are adding discovery client starter along with what? OpenFin starter while working with Fin clients. Okay. We are not adding discovery client for the sake of Fin client. We are adding discovery client to make consumer MS registerable with what? Eureka server. a discovery client we have added before we have not gone for what? Intra communication between microservices. You might have realized that one are not there. Before we started intra communication between microservice only, we started applying these starters are not there, guys. Discovery client is required to make your microservice registerable with what? Eureka server. Fin client is an abstract client whose logic will be generated in memory C class that implements given interface. In that logic, it internally uses what? LBC support to get load balancer instance from Eureka server. So we need to add Eureka discovery client starter to the project to interact with what? Eureka server using what? Load balancer client. Every client component is supporting code for consumer MS. So we must register consumer MS to Eureka server by adding, what is there? By adding at the rate enable, what is there? At the rate, yeah, Eureka server by adding the starter. Okay, not required, guys. Can we take multiple fin interfaces with the same service ID? Yes, we can take, but it is unnecessarily. You are duplicating the work. Yes, no? You are unnecessarily duplicating the work or not there? You are unnecessarily duplicating the work or not there, guys? Latest Spring is not supporting. 1 minute. Latest Spring is not supporting 2025. When we use Fin client, we have to decrease the version, then it is working. Kishore, in front of you only I have created projects na. Kishore, what the hell you are talking, man? Please run, Aina. I created a discovery client project in front of you by taking the latest version. Come on, say something, Ra. Same only we have taken for what? Load balancer. Same only we have taken for what? Fin client. So indirectly we are working for what? Latest version only, na boss. You might have done some other mistake and you are blaming the version. As of now, I did not find that problem, boss. Enable Eureka client up to 2.x, discovery client from 3.x. What is the difference between enable Eureka client and what? Enable discovery client. At the rate enable, come on. At the rate enable, Eureka client is not available in Spring Cloud API. What API? From Spring Boot 3.x. As alternate, they have given at the rate enable discovery client from Spring Boot 3.x. Simply from Spring Boot 3.x, that is there or not there? Super. In client components of microservices, what is the difference between what? Concrete client and what? Abstract client. What is the difference between what? Concrete client and what? Abstract client. Are you getting my point there? Okay. Okay, let's see, my dear. What is this? If the programmer is writing all the logics, searching target MS, getting service instance from target MS, getting details, generating HTTP calls to interact with the target MS, he's doing everything. Calling one or other method to get the target MS instance, creating REST template manually, getting details of target MS manually, calling exchange method or get for object, post for object method manually. That is called concrete client or not there. Manually by taking separate class as what? Spring Bean. And then it is called as what? Concrete client type component. Discovery client and what? Load balancer client. If programmer is just providing basic details in the form of interface and its method declaration and all the logics of searching and getting target MS and also communicating with the target MS are generated what? Dynamically in the in-memory proxy class. Then that client type is called what? Abstract client. Then that client type is called as what? Abstract. Or fin client is the example for that or not there. In microservice architecture, microservice cannot be SOAP-based web services. They are always what? RESTful services. They are always what? RESTful services. Are you getting my point there or not there, guys? Okay. What's the next thing, guys? Come on, everyone. Spring Cloud Config Server. What server? Spring Cloud Config Server. Are you getting my point there or not there? Okay. Spring Cloud Config Server. Are you getting my point there or not there? It is also called as configuration server. What is there? CS. Okay. Now first we'll try to understand. Forget about these reading lines, all this stuff. Config server is another server, guys, like Eureka server. We don't install separately. We create Spring Boot project, adding some starter, and that automatically become config server. Microservice project means one project or lots of projects. One project or lots of projects. It is not just one project, it's a lots of projects. Convinced or not, my dear? It's one project or lots of projects. These lots of projects wants to talk with the database. This database driver details I have to keep in application dot properties. These lots of properties will have common security configuration, common Hibernate JPA proper configurations. Instead of writing them in application dot property file of every MS project, if we can place them in a common place like a GitHub, GitLab kind of code repository, from there if I'm getting and using them, it will be centralization of common properties or not there. Tomorrow database username password changed. As part of centralization, how many places I have to modify password? One time. But it will reflect to all the 100, 200 microservices that are used or not there. Tomorrow I want to change one to security configurations, right, boss? Tomorrow I want to change one to security configuration. Okay, tell me, boss. No, if I change in code repository, GitHub, GitLab, they will reflect over there or not there. They will definitely reflect over there or not there, guys. Say something, my dear. I want reply, guys. Convinced with me or not there, guys? It is called as configuration. Now listen. To do this work, guys, between these microservices and code repository, one special server is required. That is called what? Configuration server. Configuration server is useful to collect common properties from code repository to multiple MS projects. In this process, okay, MS project should be made as config clients because we are taking separate config server linked with code repository. Code repository means what? GitLab, GitHub kind of thing. So to create normal Spring Boot project as config server, you have to add config server starter. To make microservices as config client, come on, you should add config client starter. What starter, guys? So ultimately, multiple microservices, config server, code repository. What repository? Multiple microservices. Tell me. config server, and what? Code repository. Are you getting my point there? Interesting or not, my dear? Convinced with me or not, my dear? It is also called as configuration server, CS, and it is useful to get common key value pairs required for the multiple microservices from the common place. That means instead of placing same key value pairs in multiple microservices, Kishore, what the hell, Raj? Just now I said, na, create a Spring Boot project adding config server starter that will act as a config server or not. Kishore, do you know what is the problem? When explaining something, you are parallelly thinking somewhere. That's why you are missing the basic point. First listen completely, then start thinking parallelly. You have got 10 points. Before I deliver another 10 points, you are in the your analyzation. And because of that second half 10 points, you are missing. Because your question is like what you know. After listening entire Ramayana, you are asking, Sita is a girl or boy? Two times I said, config server is like Eureka server. We don't create separately. We don't install separately. Did I say this statement? Kishore, you have to grow up, man. You are such a senior student, completed so many courses. At this stage, I need not to tell how to attend the classes, right? Please. Okay. In the morning session also, I explained what is distributed application for 45 minutes by giving a lot of examples. Someone asked, can you give me an example on distributed application? I can you give already I explained phone pay example, I explained weather report, you know how many examples I give on distributed. When I said what all these are, this is my first class, sir. How does it is related to first class or second class? फर्स्ट क्लास आई तो कुछ भी पूछ सकता है क्या? Really meaningless, right? Fine. That means lack of focus. They're not even seeing what's happening on the paint, on the classes. Online students are becoming day to day very diluted. Yeah. That means instead of placing key value pairs in multiple microservices, we can place them in what? Common place. And we can get them through what? Config server for multiple microservices. Are you getting my point there or not there, guys? These common key value pairs are generally DB connection properties, email properties, security properties, and etc. Which are required as what? Same, which are required as what? Same properties in multiple microservices. We place these common key value pairs in separate property file outside of all microservice projects, and we take what? Separate project for configuration server having one application dot properties in this file will be linked with what? Will be linked with what, guys? Common or separate property file. Common or separate property file. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Come on, everyone. Okay. Yeah. Common DB connection, email properties, security, and this one. We place these common key value separate file outside the microservice project, and we take separate project for config server having one application dot properties, and this will be linked with what? Common or separate property file that is there in GitHub, right? We need to create config server project. Okay, Spring Boot project, adding config server dependency. And this config server by default runs on which port number? 8080. But recommended port number is what, guys? 8888. We can make config server project getting common key value in two ways. Using external config file configuration. Nothing but, listen. Config server is linked with GitHub, GitLab accounts. We can place common properties in Git accounts like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, and etc. Guys, come on. Good for all environment, dev, test, UID, and product. Negative config file, guys. This time, common keys and values can be placed in what? Within the computer. In your computer hard disk, some file, guys. In your computer hard disk, in some file, we can place it. We can place common properties in local system drives like what? E drive, D drive, and etc. Generally good in what? Dev environment. What environment, guys? Look at this. External config file. Application.properties in GitHub and GitLab account now, boss. Here common keys and values are kept. This is my config server. Through config server, they are coming to microservices. All microservices are added with what? Config client dependency. And Spring Boot project that is added with what? Config server dependency is called as config server or not there? Is called as config server or not there, guys? Say something, my dear. Comfortable, my dear. Got the point, my dear. Come on. Super. Multiple microservices linked with config server. Getting data from where? Common property file. Are you understanding my statement or not there? Super. The real microservice project that want to use as config server managed common property file content must be added with what? Config client dependency. And if config server is linked with a GitHub, that is called external config file. If config server is linked with what? Local property file, that is called what? Native config file. What file, guys? I think you understood the basic mechanism, guys. Simple theory, boss. Simple theory, don't think much. 10 microservices talking to same database software. Instead of placing, what, guys? Instead of placing same JDBC properties, same JDPA properties, same Hibernate JPA properties in what? In what? Application dot property file of every microservice project. It's better to place them in what? Common GitHub GitLab account. Come on. Common GitHub GitLab account. And try to use them in what, guys? Microservice project through a mediator called config server or not there. This basic point is registered in your brain thoroughly or not there. Okay, first of all, you see the numbers, boss. Number one, develop either external config file having common keys and values in GitHub or in what? Native config file. Native means in some computer based file. External means GitHub. Number two, develop the Spring Boot project as config server. What is now? 1 minute. Number two, Eureka server. Okay. Number three, develop the Spring Boot project as what? Config server. Number four, develop the microservice projects as what? Config clients. Microservice projects as config client. 1, 2, 4 are order of development. What are the things you have to develop? Number one, create external config file in GitHub or GitLab, or in as a native config file, or as what? Native config file. Are you getting my point there or not? Okay. Yeah, what is tomorrow's plan? Tomorrow, no common topic. Regular topic will continue. Regular topic will continue. What is that regular topic? Microservices. Where same common topics link. Where guys? Same common topics link. Right? Okay. Sunday class is there or not there? I will tell tomorrow. I will let you know tomorrow, but tomorrow class is there. Regular 9 a.m. and microservices will continue. Yes, guys? Yeah, that's good. 9 a.m., 5 p.m. both. No, only 9 a.m. Tomorrow only 9 a.m. session. 5 p.m. session is not there. Microservices only 9 a.m. Next weekend. When common topics are there, I will go for what? 9 a.m., 5 p.m., Sunday, 7 a.m., 3 topics like this. But today not required. Regular microservices continuation only there. Yeah. Tell me next one. Okay, now let's see the flow of execution. Every microservice is having its own local property file. Okay, now listen. A1 on variable of Spring Bean. I'm using @value $key or not there. Okay. A1, A2. It will search that key is there in the local property file or not there. Not there. What I mentioned is key. What is available here is key 1. What I mentioned is key. What is available here is what? Key 1. Are you getting my point? Say something, my dear. Okay. Here is what? Key 1. There are not there, boss. There are not there. Okay. Tell me, my dear. Not there. So now it is a config client. So through config client, it will connect to config server or not there. That is A3. In A3 config server, guys, that is also having application.property. There we mentioned location of the external or native config file. That is what? A4. Maintains a link with what? External or native config file. Some keys will be there. No, this is not external config file. It will have information about where that external or native config file is available. Okay. So let us assume that is A4. A5 connected to external or native config file. Okay, let us assume it connected to external only. Submitted the key or not there? Submitted the key or not there? Got the value or not there? Come on. That value has come to config server. Config server is passing that value to what? Config client, nothing but microservice. Microservice is injecting to the property or not there? Interestingly easy or not there? Once again, see the flow, guys. Okay. In the value annotation, key is mentioned in the placeholder, A1. It will search in local property file whether key is available or not. Not there. What is there? A2. My dear, come on, everyone. Yeah, next one, A3. Using config client dependency, it is connecting to what? Config server. That is what? A3. Come on, my dear. Inside config server, address of the external config file is there or not there? A4. Next one, A5. It connects to what? External config file. What do you say, guys? It will connect to what? External config file. That is A5. Next, submits the key. A6. Available. Collects the value. A7. Config server passes that value to whom, guys? Config server passes that value to whom, guys? Passes that value to whom, guys? Config client. Config client is a microservice and Spring Bean that will be injected to Spring Bean or not there. I think we got the grip on the flow of execution, my dear. Okay, now tell me. How to make normal project as config server? By adding config server dependency or not there? How to make any microservice as config client, guys? By adding config client dependency are not there. And luckily, both starters are available or not there. Both starters are available or not there, guys. Okay. Today, what we do is we create common keys and values in GitLab account, GitHub, GitLab. You can use GitHub also, no problem. GitLab.com. GitLab is one code repository, guys. You have to sign in, my dear. You have to sign in, guys. Remember me, click on sign in. Verification code, I think it will come to Gmail. 196068. 196068. Verify code. So many projects are there. No, it is no related Java project, GitHub project. I'm creating a new project. Create a blank project. What is your batch code? 915. What is there, guys? 915 pros. What is there, guys? 915 pros. 915 pros is the pros name. Listen, if it is a private project, for connectivity, you have to submit username password. If it is a public project, no need of passing username password. Click on project. Okay. Now I'm trying to add a file. New file. This file must be application.properties, guys, nothing else. Asking file name. Application.properties. Okay, here what is there? db.user system. Everything, anything you can take. db.password type. Say commit changes. Okay. Common properties file. Click on commit. Common properties file. Click on commit. We are ready with common property file or not there? Okay. For every project, there will be URL to link with. There will be one URL to link with. That URL is available here or not there? That URL is. And this URL you have to place in configuration server project. This URL you have to place in config. Then what happened? Configuration server will be linked with what? External config file or not there? How to do that work? Okay. Okay, that we will discuss in next part, guys. Okay, that's good. Let's go for it, guys. Come on, everyone. Yeah, where is this? 7 a.m. Here is Natraz. Here is what, guys? What's your batch code? Yeah, first let me add 5:30 p.m. one. Yeah. Spring Boot to cloud. Class content, guys. 515. Spring Boot to cloud. Tell me. Session how much? 7 and 8. 7 and 8. Are very few common topics are left, and few of them I'm planning to give as a videos. So that's why don't take stress on common topics. You will get it. Okay. Yeah, JWT also I'm planning to give, guys. Don't worry. Yeah. Next. Where is this? Nine o'clock, guys. Spring Boot to cloud. Right click. File upload. Huh? Here is 915. Where is this? Cloud MS. Here is what? Huh? 7 and 8. Yeah, 7 and 8. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow.